Hello and welcome everybody. King Crady here with a personal life update. Yes, you read that title correctly. Pokemon has allowed me to quit my job and pursue a new career about something I absolutely love and have been passionate about my whole life. As always, I'd like to give a shout out and a huge thanks to our YouTube channel members for making this video possible. For the last few months, I've been selling Pokemon cards on a platform called Whatnot, which is a live auction shopping app. Now, I already know, before you guys go in the comments spamming about how you think King Crady is a scalper or a scammer or whatever, just know that I have a 4.9 star rating from around 1,000 reviews from my customer base. Also worth mentioning is the fact that I mostly sell vintage singles, which is very popular for longtime collectors and people recently getting back into the hobby. So what does this mean for the King Crady YouTube channel and my highly anticipated Pokemon Ruby 2 ROM hack? I will explain that in detail in just a moment, but first I want to tell you guys about the journey of building a career from my lifelong passion that is Pokemon. It's been an ultimate life goal of mine to pursue some kind of career that would revolve around me owning a business. My dream job since I was young was to be a YouTuber or run some kind of small retail business, maybe something like a card shop. Of course, being a lifelong Pokemon fan for well over 2 decades, I wanted Pokemon to be at the center of this, but I didn't think this would work out after I graduated high school. As I got into college and was working a few different jobs, I've always wanted to have some kind of small business as a side hustle for some extra income. I've tried a few different things like running my own e-commerce website, reselling things on Amazon, but none of these side hustles really worked out for me and I actually lost a lot of money doing them. In 2022, I did start the King Crady YouTube channel as kind of a hobby making Pokemon videos, but I still held hope that eventually I can make it into something bigger that I can possibly make a career out of. After the first year or two of trial and error, I've built up a great audience around the niche hobby of Pokemon ROM hacking, something I've had interest in for over 20 years, but never really spent too much time on it. A giant part of this is thanks to Hexmaniac Advance, the program you guys know very well at this point, and has created a massive interest in the Pokemon ROM hacking scene because of its ease of use and its nice user interface. As I started to learn more about Pokemon ROM hacking, I found at the time there weren't many YouTube channels that showed more of the development side of Pokemon ROM hacks. Sure, they existed, but none of them had a large viewer base. I took my skills I learned in Pokemon ROM hacking and merged them with my skills in video making to create awesome Pokemon ROM hacking content that in a way was very new to YouTube. I'm not gonna claim by a long shot that I was the first person to make Pokemon ROM hacking development videos and tutorials, but I can say I took a huge advantage of the popularity of YouTube Shorts to grow the channel, which to be honest, almost no one has done. It was fun making the short 1-minute ROM hacking tutorials that collectively were gaining hundreds of thousands of views across YouTube and TikTok. Also, at the time, I was working on my own challenge ROM hack, but after becoming a little bit better at ROM hacking, I decided to scrap that project completely. I replaced it with a really cool new hack idea which you guys know as Pokemon Emerald Mini. The idea of Emerald Mini came to me as I realized that as an adult, I didn't have much time to play video games like I used to, and I wanted to make a faster way to play through my favorite game, which was Pokemon Emerald. Now yes, it is funny and ironic that me not finding time to play Pokemon games eventually led to hundreds of hours of developing my own ROM hack, but it was just a fun hobby of mine, and the King Crady channel really started to grow with these videos, especially because of the YouTube Shorts and TikTok. When Emerald Mini launched, I doubled the amount of YouTube subscribers right away, and then within less than a month after the announcement of Ruby 2, I once again doubled my amount of subscribers here on YouTube. Now, despite the success that the King Crady YouTube channel has had over the last year, especially with these Ruby 2 videos, just understand I do not make as much money as you might think on these videos. YouTube Shorts don't really pay that well unless you're regularly getting millions of views. And even with those and the long-form videos I make, I barely make over $100 a month on average, despite all the time I spend making these videos. Now yes, I understand it is a hobby and a side hustle, but making these videos can be very, very exhausting, especially when you're not making a lot of money on them. And ROM hacks are obviously something you cannot legally sell. Now, a quick side note, the only reason I was able to make a good amount of progress at the beginning of working on Ruby 2 is because I used to bring my laptop to my job and work on this ROM hack when I had downtime. At the end of last summer, I did end up getting a higher paying job to support my wife and I, but this job did come with more responsibility and I wasn't really able to bring my laptop to work on some ROM hacking stuff on the side. Now at this point, development did start to slow down and I started to get really burned out on the project of working on Ruby 2 and my YouTube channel for a while. I spent more of my free time with my wife or playing games like Pokemon Legends ZA instead of making content and ROM hacking. I still have been working on Ruby 2 here and there, but not nearly as much as I was before. A few months into 2026 is the start of the major shift in my career change that I'm going through right now. Now, I have slowly been getting back into the Pokemon TCG, like millions of others have within the last year, and it was only towards the end of 2025 when I discovered the app Whatnot. I bought a few vintage cards here and there, and was entering a bunch of giveaways to get free cards, which is super fun. After watching a bunch of sellers, I thought, why not maybe trying selling on here myself? My first few streams, I sold some modern cards that I collected and bought, along with doing some rip and ships live on camera, where buyers purchase a pack, we rip it on the stream, and then we ship them their cards. I started to get more bold with it. I really wanted to sell better inventory, especially older vintage cards that I grew up with in the early 2000s. I bought some old collections that I found on Facebook Marketplace and started to sort through them and sell them as singles. This ended up being a major success. Whatnot is a great app for people to buy singles on because the buyers can get a live view of the exact card they're looking for and even ask me live on stream for a specific card or Pokemon they're looking for. Some of these cards have pretty small margins, especially after the Whatnot fees and the credit card fees, but doing large quantities of inventory per stream is how I make my money doing this. As this started to grow, I started reinvesting a lot of profits back into the inventory to the point where I can make a decent amount for myself. Over the last 2 months, I was able to hit over 7,000 followers and over 7,000 items sold on the platform. I did this while retaining a 4.9 star average rating with almost 1,000 reviews. This is the point when I decided I'm gonna quit my job and sell on Whatnot full time. Now, like I said before, what does this have to do with the King Crady YouTube channel and the development of my Pokemon Ruby 2 ROM hack? Well, the thing is that I now have more time to work on this ROM hack and my channel once again. This is due to the fact that I'll be working on Whatnot streams in the morning and will have more time after for YouTube and ROM hacking. This also excites me because as someone going fully self-employed, I have multiple sources of income with Whatnot being the biggest, and now my YouTube revenue that once I can grow the channel a bit more will definitely help. I have also been dabbling with TCG content here on the channel, and I know I've got some mixed feedback whether I should upload these kinds of videos here, because I know a vast majority of my audience is into ROM hacking content, so let me know in the comments what you guys think. When I started the King Crady channel, I always intended it to be an all-around Pokemon channel with the ROM hacking, gameplay videos, and all other kinds of Pokemon things. Since some of these videos take a long time to work on, I may get back to doing some more ROM hacking live streams so you guys can hang out and get sneak peeks at Pokemon Ruby 2. This is a really exciting career change for me, but there's also a part of me that's a little bit nervous about going full-time self-employed. So if any of you are men of God, please pray for me and my family as I make this major life change. Also, if you guys are interested in checking out my Whatnot live streams, I'll be live mostly at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time almost every morning, so be sure to hop in. I'll also have all kinds of other random streams around noon or sometimes in the evenings. I'll eventually get a full schedule worked out. Also, feel free to sign up on Whatnot using my link in the description to get a free $15 credit to spend on the app. You can also just join so you can hang out with us on those streams and even enter my free giveaways to win some free Pokemon cards. I almost can't believe the fact that I'm taking Pokemon, which has been a lifelong passion of mine, and turning it into a career that's going to be able to support my family and I. And none of this would be possible without the support of you guys. So, thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one.